students. Today I will explain you plant tissues of class 9. First, tissue, a group of cells which work together to perform a common function is called tissue. If we talk about plant tissues, then in the plants the growth is restricted in some places. Okay. Then the remaining part also made up of cells and they work together for some function and they also make the tissue. So on the basis of their power of cell division, plant tissue can be divided into meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue, their feature is that they have power of cell division. While the permanent tissue, they do not have power of cell division. If we talk about the cells which has power of cell division, they are called meristematic tissue and they are restricted in some regions only. On the basis of their position, their region, they can be classified into three parts. Number one, apical meristem. Apical meristem, this kind of meristematic tissue is present at the tips of stems and roots and help to increase its length. Second type of tissue is intercalary meristem. These are present near the nodes and at the base of leaves. They also help in the increase of stem height by increasing the length of internode. Third type of meristematic tissue is lateral meristem. They are present at the lateral side of the stem and help in the increase of the girth of the stem. Now, this is the types of meristematic tissue on the basis of their region. Now, what is their structure? The cells are very compactly arranged. They do not have any intercellular space. Second point, they have dense cytoplasm. Plus, they have prominent nucleus. These are the common features of all meristematic cells or tissues. One more important point is that they do not have cell vacuoles. Can you think about this point? Why they do not have a cell vacuole? What is the function of cell vacuole? We have already studied in the previous topic. Cell vacuole is used for the storage of waste material or secondary metabolites. And in these cells, they are highly active cells. So, in that case, there is no need of cell vacuole. This is all about the meristematic tissue. What happened to the cells after the division, which are formed by this meristematic tissue? On the basis of their position and their work, they differentiate. This process is called differentiation, and during this process, they lost the power of cell division. Now, they are called permanent tissues. So, the cells which has get differentiation according to their space, function, size and shape, they are categorized in the group permanent tissue. They do not have the power of cell division. It can be divided into two types. One is simple permanent tissue. Second, complex permanent tissue. What is the broad difference between this? In case of simple permanent tissue, all the cells are of similar type to perform common function, while in case of complex permanent tissue, there are different types of cells work together to perform a common function. First, I will explain simple permanent tissue. Again, according to their structure and function, it is of broadly three types, that is parenchyma, then collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Now we will discuss one by one all these three tissues. Number one is parenchyma. Below the epidermis, the maximum tissue is permanent tissue and the ground tissue, maximum packaging tissue is made up of parenchyma. maximum packaging tissue. It's like we discussed about in case of leaves. Then this is showing the epidermis of the leaf. Then maximum packaging tissue below the epidermis is of parenchyma. Okay, parenchymatous cells, first point, they are the living one, they are the live cells. Definitely they do not have the power of cell division. Their main function is storage of food. But as I just drawn here the diagram of leaf, in case of leaf, the cells below the epidermis, they have chloroplast. The cells which has chloroplast, these are called chlorenchyma. So if we talk about the function of parenchyma, the main, they work as a ground tissue to fill the space inside the plants. Second, they help the storage of food, and specific function, when they have chloroplast, they help in the process of photosynthesis and help in the formation of food. Next, in some plants, aquatic plants. In case of aquatic plants, the plants which can float on water, in that case the parenchymatous cells have very big, large air cavities which has the air in between the cells and provide buoyancy to the tissue so that plant part can float on the surface of water, and that kind of parenchyma tissue is known as arenchyma. So this is about the types of parenchyma. If we talk about the cell, the basic structure, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. It is thin cell wall, it is active cell. Okay, they are the living cells. Now, next come to the collenchyma. In case of parenchyma, the cells are having some intercellular spaces. Intercellular space. Now, next come to the chlorenchyma. Next is second collenchyma. Collenchyma cells, now there is a starting of thickening of the cells at the corner. The cell wall, there is thickening of at the corner of the cell, so it provides mechanical support to the cells. The intercellular space become lesser, but still they are living cells. Where these cells we will find in plant, they are present below the epidermis in the stems, and they are helpful for the flexibility of leaf stalk. It is also present in the tendrils and climber plants, which help them to move without breakage. Okay, so these are the cells collenchyma. They provide mechanical support with flexibility, but still they are live and the deposition is still of cellulose. Now, next type of simple permanent tissue is sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma cell, very first feature that these are the dead cells. Very big difference among sclerenchyma from the parenchyma and collenchyma, that these cells are the dead cells. Second feature, that the cell wall has very large amount of thickening and they do not have any intercellular space between the cells. So there is no intercellular space, and this thickening in the cell wall is of lignin. Okay, so where we will get the sclerenchyma? These are very strong cells, rigid cells, provide mechanical support to the plant. Whatever the hard part of the plant, they have this sclerenchyma tissue. There may be the cells and there may be long fibers that help the deposition of lignin. They are present in the nuts, shells of the nuts. Okay, whatever the hard part you observe in the plant, like shell of the nuts, very strong strands, that is bark, and the coconut husk. All these consist of parenchyma tissue. Next come to the complex permanent tissue. There the group of cells are of different size, shape, but they are performing a common function. Okay, and these are of two types, xylem and phloem. Xylem. Xylem, it helps in the conduction of water and mineral, and it has four components. Number one, tracheids. These are the tracheids. The cells are tubular with tapering ends. They have the deposition of lignin in their cell wall, but at some places this lignin is not present, and these places are called pits. They make continuous channel for the conduction of water and mineral. Second, vessels. They are tubular cells having lignified walls with pits, and their end has perforations and make continuous channel for the conduction of water. Third, xylem parenchyma. They help in the storage of food. Fourth, xylem fibers. Xylem fibers, they provide mechanical support. In all these four components of the xylem, only this xylem parenchyma are the living cells, and all other cells like tracheids, vessels and fibers are dead at maturity. Next come to the phloem. Phloem, it is also conducting tissue. It helps in the transport of food from leaf to the other plant parts. It has the following components: sieve cell, sieve tubes. Sieve tubes are the tubular structure and have sieves on the both ends of the cell. It is a tubular cell. At maturity, sieve tubes do not have nucleus. So their activity is controlled by the companion cells. These are the companion cells near the sieve tubes. Next, phloem fibers. They are for the mechanical support. Phloem parenchyma, they are the storage cells. From these components of the phloem, except phloem fibers, all are the living components. Okay, so in case of xylem and phloem, there is only one living component, that is xylem parenchyma, and phloem, there is only one dead component, that is phloem fiber. Both xylem and phloem help in the conducting of substances and constitute vascular bundle of the plant. Next, we had already discussed the meristematic tissue, then simple permanent and complex permanent tissue. What is the other remaining part of the plant? That is the, we can categorize in the protective tissue. So next come to the protective tissue. Protective tissue, as the name indicates, it protects the plant parts, and it can be categorized into two parts, that is epidermis and cork. It is usually single layer of cells and make continuous layer of the cells for the protection. In case of aerial parts of the plant, it has a waxy layer to minimize the loss of water. If we consider the epidermis of the leaf, then the epidermis of leaf has pores that are called stomata, and that are surrounded by guard cells. These are the stomata. They are very helpful for the exchange of gases plus loss of water in the form of water vapor, that is called transpiration. That is very important to maintain the temperature of the plants. When we talk about the epidermis of roots, then epidermis of roots have root hairs to increase the surface area, and it is required for the absorption of water and mineral. Now, a special feature of epidermis in case of some desert plant, they have to minimize the loss of water. So in that case, epidermis has very thick layer, waxy layer to minimize the loss of water, that is of cutin. This is about the epidermis. Second protective tissue is cork. When the stems become older, then below the epidermis, some cortex cells become activated and get the power of cell division, and they are called secondary meristem. These cells cut the cells, that is called cork, and they have the deposition of suberin substance. Suberin is impervious to gas and water. So for the exchange of material due to this secondary growth, the epidermis become rupture and replaced by the cork, and for the exchange of gases, because suberin is impervious to water, they have lenticels. Okay, this is about the protective tissue. Thank you.